For registration, if you head on over to academy.zwift.com, you can register over there and see both the men's program and the women's program. Very, very cool initiative to do good, as well as build a community of fitness and hand out pro contracts both on the men's and the women's side. For the women's side, it is with the Canyon SRAM team, and actually we do have a little bit of a promo video all about the amazingness that actually happened in one of the finishers' lives through the Zwift Academy and last year's Women's Academy, that it isn't just all about the pro contract. It's about growing the community of fitness with the other participants. So let's go ahead and check out what happened with Sonia in last year's Zwift Academy.
When I started on Zwift, kids they were so excited. They're coming and watching. What's Maddie doing? Look, she's on the screen. That's Maddie. Which one? The one in that t-shirt. So they were really excited. It's a yellowfish. Do you see the yellowfish? Oh! Can you see? I didn't do any riding outside. I didn't do any competitions. I hardly, I've never been on a road bike outside on the road. And only then once I got the confidence on the turbo trainer, that I got some power in my legs and I feel confident on the road bike. Then I went outside. Joining the Zwift Academy will get me to do that number of exercises in a certain time for me to be able to then, I can sign up to do the triathlon. I signed for a few triathlons. I started first duathlon and then I did 3 local triathlons. And you progress because you keep cycling on Zwift. And you get better and better, so that will reflect in your outside ride. It's like cycling outside, but not having to concentrate on the cars, on the wind and the temperature. You controlling that yourself. Sometimes you think, you sign for things and then you go, you get bored of it and you never finish things. But I think having the goal of with everyone else to finish something and you see their progress, your progress. Just people encourage each other.
Welcome to KISS Racing on Zwift. Here you will find enjoyment, pain and Type 2 fun. Make sure you have KISS in your surname followed by your racing cat in brackets. This can be done via the Zwift mobile link or by the menu button. Click the menu button on the bottom left of your screen, and then by using the edit pencil icon, you can change your name. See how others in the group have their names set up? You should follow this style. Power-ups are allowed for this race, and you can also ride any bike of your choice. Try and grab a wheel or work together in groups. The draft will help everyone out and also make for a great race. You will see the time of those in front start to come down. Results will be found on ZwiftPower.com after the race, but please be patient and wait for the official result banner to appear before asking any questions regarding placings. Now make sure your fan is turned on, you have a towel nearby and a full bidon ready. Have fun and race on.
A great resource for the community that you guys can jump into as well and join us for the racing, but the workouts out on Zwift. We use the workout mode, and Greg Henderson actually puts me through a few intervals and explains what those intervals are all about. So we'll be live with that tomorrow, 2 p.m. CST or 8 p.m. British Standard Time. Also, the WBR rides, another ride that you can jump into. They have those going on daily. WBR rides and races, various group rides and races throughout the week at all times of the day. You can jump into one of those almost any time throughout the day. So make sure you're checking out the WBR rides out there. They put on they have some really good group leaders actually amongst their rides, and usually extremely organized with ride reports afterwards almost in every single one of the races actually. All right, looks like the riders are just about to get underway out on the KISS Europe race. 18.5 miles, 29.8 kilometers total in the A and the B and C and D categories. So they're all doing the same distance out there today, and they're just about to head by me, actually, I'm not on the sprint course, it looks like today, but anyways, they are heading out, it looks like, onto the course. And in the usual Zwift racing fashion, we see the orange numbers taking off right from the get-go. So we do see Pelosi here coming out of Italy, hammering away right from the get-go here, hanging out with, I love all the new avatar features. Recent update to Zwift has a ton of people customizing their avatars, always really cool to see. And Pelosi here going for the purple socks, full black kit, and some long hair, it looks like. Adam Webb out there from Vision Cycling, though, watching out for this one as a favorite for sure. As it is no socks, it looks like, for Webb, though, or short socks, it looks like, for Webb in the Vision kit there with some nice shades and no helmet. We do have one of the juggernauts showing up out there today. It is going to be Mr. Allenby. Watch out for this one as he makes his way to the front, backs off immediately about 1 watt per kilogram or so. And then we do have B Nash, it looks like Gama there from the PTZ team as well. Nash in this, is that Bentley? I'm looking for the Trek kit to get a hold of who is in that Trek kit. I'm not seeing who it was, but MD from the Bolt Racing team is there as well. They do like to hang out in that Power Tap kit as their designated team kit. Innovation is showing up here today as well. We do have M. Wilkes, it looks like, R. Curling, and then it will be Jay Scott grabbing back onto the back end of this pack. And then we do have, this is going to be a crazy fast race today. I have spotted KRT's Tim Cartwright in and amongst the riders. Szerzynski there, one of the CVR World Cup participants in London, is there right along with Cartwright. Both those boys were in the same room together racing against each other in that live event. So good to see them showing up in the virtual world as well. It does look like there's a split though already taking place in the group, as we do have FD Evola there. It looks like just off the back, and here is the initial split, it looks like, with Jay Stokes just off the wheel of Daffyd Williams, who's trying to grab back on to that front group. It does look like Levy here, though. Jay Levy out of Seattle for the KRT team here, hammering away. I believe Kate Levy jumps into Zuskana's ride every Friday night, actually, so good to see Jay Levy out there hammering away, probably from the same Pame Cave right now out of Seattle for that KRT team, as they make their way underneath the little overpass there, and they will be heading out toward the initial climb in Trafalgar Square, where the initial some more splits will most likely be taking place. In and amongst the C category riders, our C category feed is not treating us too nicely. Let's see if we can bring it back up over here. If we don't, we might have lost our C category feed. We'll see if we can grab it and get it going back into the broadcast here. But we are with the A's here now. We do see Pelosi here out of Italy now up toward the front. Innovation now with Wallace. Looks like Innovation has shown up with some strength. If you look down from this top view here, you can usually kind of spot the different riders and their jerseys that they are riding in. Is this one of the Vikings, or is it just an Amgen Tour California rider? The Viking team likes to use that Amgen Tour California kit, so I believe that may be one of their riders, but I'm not spotting the Viking tag in their name on the right hand side of the course here. If you're tuning in for the first time, this is Zwift, the massive multiplayer online training platform for cycling. These are actual cyclists on real bikes right now, producing real power. Up in the upper left hand corner right now, you are seeing 300 watts or so being put out by M. Wallace at 159 beats per minute and 80 RPMs. That is actually how fast he is spinning those cranks on his bike, and that is actually how fast his heart rate is beating, that is being communicated to the game through a heart rate monitor into an ANT Plus dongle, or else a Bluetooth source may be used as well there if he is using the iOS device. And that is the real wattage that the Innovation Boy M. Wallace is putting out right now at about 280 to 300 watts or so to hang on with this front group. Tim Cartwright now wanting to maybe go off the front with the TT from the get-go. Levy knowing, actually, this might be organized here. 2 KRT boys going from the get-go. Jay Levy now absolutely killing it, being sent off the front by Cartwright as well. Webb knowing that this is a serious threat, right along with Strzinski. All the big hitters knowing if they let Cartwright go, that will be curtains for the rest of the race. We already see a couple of predictions here coming from the Facebook right now, with Tom O'Kalen, one of the KRT racers as well, saying that his money is on Tim. It's not a bad bet whatsoever, Thomas. He thinks that this initial attack here maybe be able to split things apart, but we are seeing now Tim falling off the pace there from that counterattack coming from Levy. Any big wrecks in the race today? Not that I've seen so far, Tom O'Kalen. Interesting comment there, but not any that I've seen so far. So Levy here now, we are seeing 4.1 watts per kilogram, 185 beats per minute, maybe playing the domestique at such a high heart rate right from the get-go here, trying to break things apart. Tim, though, maybe knowing that this is all going to come back together, is allowing himself to slowly get back at the front. Curly now trying to bring this back in at 5.6 watts per kilogram or so. And then we are seeing MD right along with J. Scott. Pelosi is here as well. Bentley, and it looks like Wilkes. It's all going to come back together is my prediction before Box Hill. But how many matches will be burnt before they actually hit that climb? Speaking of matches being burnt, though, looking back at the C category now, they are just heading into Trafalgar, where we were able to find them on our feed of that race, and it does look like we do have Ancliffe now falling off by about 17 seconds to what I believe will be the chase group, with Baltimore as well as Goal and Elma Gyre out of Denmark. Moving forward, then we do see BJ Alfonso as well as Pereira here. I believe BJ Alfonso's in there from PTZ. Then there is, there he is, BJ Alfonso there, hammered away from PTZ, the director sportif of that team. The PTZ kit there in game, looking good there with the red, white, and green there. Malone now out of Ireland, now up toward the front from the C category, and it looks like the categories have been separated actually from the riders nearby, but I do believe some of the riders that are in and amongst the racers right here may be a part of the event still, as they have been caught in that B category. Malone here currently leading it out in that C category as they make that left-hand turn toward the underground and over toward Box Hill. A solid group, it looks like, it looks 2 off the front, with T. Harris here, 4.9 watts per kilogram on the front end of the race, 190 beats per minute though, right along with Malone. They do have a solid 12 seconds over D. Meester, as well as Anderson, who's about 20 seconds back from them, but they are hanging out with quite a few B riders. It looks like that they have caught out on the course here, but at 188 beats per minute, I'm not sure how much longer these C category riders can hold on to that pace. Maybe too much too early, and might get caught out on course, especially on Box Hill, where the gravity really starts to pull on the riders, being that the World of Zwift simulates the watts per kilogram along with the drag of gravity on the avatars. It is definitely the places to make the breaks. Now, speaking of gravity starting to kick in, going into Box Hill here, we do have Bentley right along with Scott. Gama is there. It looks like Allenby, all the big hitters have made it. Now Cartwright with an initial kick, maybe there, 6.1 watts per kilogram. We are definitely going to keep an eye here on the likes of Cartwright, Gama, as well as Allenby there. Webb, some of the favorites, but Webb maybe not being the strongest climber out there, might have some difficulty hanging on with the likes of Cartwright as well as Allenby especially. But Allenby, he seems to like to do those attacks on the opposite side of Box Hill. Kiss Racing, just so everybody knows the race rules, power-ups are fully enabled, and we tend to see the signature move from Allenby with an arrow power-up. I wouldn't be surprised if during his warm-up he was out racing or riding around gathering a arrow power-up as he went through the sprint banners or KOMs or the lap banner out on course. David Williams from the KRT team now with an initial attack here, trying to break things apart, and it looks like he's kind of set up his avatar looking good here with the I like the the Graybeard. We're going to call him Old Graybeard here. We've got some Gandalf there out on course. Just no pointy hat, it looks like. Dauphin Williams hammering away here at 2.7 watts per kilogram now as he made that initial attack. Now fades backwards here. 146 beats per minute. Maybe a little bit tired today. Just testing the legs and said, maybe just nothing there to handle the racing just yet. We are seeing actually Sean McGlone here actually cheering Mr. Dauphin Williams on. A little bit of encouragement for him as he is trying to hang on to the pack here. Go Dauphin Williams, make Coventry proud. So let's see it here, Dauphin. Hang on to that pack. But I'm hearing from Tom O'Kalin that Dauphin just did the XRS race actually right before this. So huge effort here from Dauphin. What a monster for sure. We are seeing a quick little tweet here coming from Zwift Community Live. Thanks a lot for the tweet here. A little bit of an update from him. Aussie eCrit Series Final coming to Rafa, Melbourne, actually on September 23rd. See what the racing is all about now. So a little bit of shout out to us that we are live right now over on Zwift's Facebook as well as Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure to follow on any of those places or check out all the places that we are live almost daily at ZwiftCommunityLive.com. So back into the racing action here. We are seeing Russ Cripps though saying smash it, Grant and Baxter. Go WBR from the Colonel Cripps. Always good to see a Colonel hanging out in the broadcast. Love to see you out there racing as well. And thanks a lot for tuning in and for cheering on the WBR boys. We'll make sure to keep eyes on them if we can find them out on course and give them some shout outs, Russ. Now looking here, we do see Levy here though, still 188 beats per minute. Be interesting to see what his max heart rate actually is, as he is definitely throwing down and holding down a little bit higher heart rate for the duration of the climb here than I was expecting from Jay Levy here. So maybe he beats as a max heart rate a little bit higher than the expectation was. I'm going to go ahead and look through here and see if we can find Levy. We are waiting for the update from ZwiftPower.com. It looks like Levy here currently holding down first place out on course, coming out of Seattle, 5.3 watts per kilogram for the duration of 20 minutes so far today. And we are seeing 5 races total, racing for the KISS racing team. So newer to the world of racing. I actually haven't seen him out there for a whole lot of races. He did win the WBR 4 as well as the WBR 1. Those were both this month. Back on July 27th, he won the ZHR Hare and Hounds race, actually. Then it was the Zwift eFondo, took a 6th place in the eFondo. That is a huge result. The eFondo had some heavy hitters in there. It was a super long race/ride, actually. And we're talking the likes of Troy Herfoss, right behind Herfoss, actually, out of Australia, who is dominating some of those eCrit Series races. So watch out for Levy for the win today. Hold a solid, it looks like 4.83 watts per kilogram for the duration of that Zwift eFondo presented by Cycling Tips, actually. So I have a feeling that we may see a new, one of the new juggernauts out on course here, maybe with Jay Levy here. So out of Seattle here for the KRT, Jonathan Levy, 5 races total. And this is his first appearance, actually, in one of the more high-profile races. I mean, we've got the KISS races, you've got the ZTR XRS races. Those are kind of more the high-profile, as well as the Friday Criteriums, the SZRs. They're kind of at that peak time during the races. And then there's also the Australia eCrit as well for the other time zones. And then we do have the Pacific and US races later in the evening as well. But usually these right here, these European races, as well as those Australian eCrit races, tend to have those big hitters showing up for a worldwide international field. So we'll see how Levy turns out for the duration of the race. This is the first time up Box Hill. 6.3, 6.1 watts per kilogram steady. Now 5.6. We are seeing still 189 beats per minute. According to ZwiftPower.com, the max we've ever seen from him in that Zwift eFondo was 193. So it'll be interesting if he can hold on to this kind of a pace for the full duration. If he has a little bit more than what we saw in that Zwift E-Fondo, because he's within about 5 beats of the max that we've ever seen. I have a feeling if that is his actual max, there may not be much left in the matchbox after this climb up and over the top here. We are seeing Cartwright now right along with his teammate Levy there, making a counter there, 172 beats per minute, 6.6 watts per kilogram, trying to break off the likes of Wallux and Gamma here. Webb there following very closely with a drafting power-up that reduces the drag on his avatar if he's sitting in and amongst the riders there, getting a draft that does increase the draft that he gets, so he has to work a little bit less here. Now we are going to the front here will be Jay Scott, 193 beats per minute coming from Scott here out of Great Britain now. And looking at Jay Scott, I'm not seeing any past races though. I swear I've seen Jay Scott out on course before. We'll have to see. I'm not seeing his name linked though over at SwiftPower.com. Is this a first-time racer? I don't think so, but he's riding unattached. He's on an elite, it looks like, because he has that elite kit on. Maybe he does have the Trek though, Madone here, so he has done some riding out on Zwift. Has a few levels at least, and so we'll have to wait and see if he has any races in the past, and we're just not seeing them over at SwiftPower.com. But I have a feeling that maybe this may be one of the newer racers, and actually we are seeing this a lot now as of recently, because we're starting to head into the Zwift season as we head into winter for the Northern Hemisphere. A lot of times we start to see the pickup of riders who haven't been out on the platform as of recently. First one on through, it looks like will be Wallace there from Innovation with a 610. They haven't climbed an insane pace. We have seen them as low as the 550, so definitely not crazy paced. Maybe holding off and saving up for the second time up and over the top. Still fast, stupid fast, but not the fastest that we've seen in these races. I have a feeling a few of these boys saving a few of the matches for the second time up and over the top, and I have a feeling that has to do with the quality of the field. Webb though attacking in that 10 watts per kilogram as you just saw over the up and the top of this climb. This is a threat here with Straczynski, Gamma, Scott, Levy, Allenby though off the back here, not expected, but maybe just keeping them within his sights. 5.3 watts per kilogram. Gonna get back on terms here with Levy in just a moment. Up and out of the saddle now, 415 watts. 4 seconds is the difference. He will most likely bring it back together here. I don't think the innovation boy here, Wallace, though, is gonna see them again. Even with that arrow power up, he's gonna have to have a crazy effort. 110 back, it will be Pelosi here out of Italy trying to hold down for a top 10 position as he's currently sitting, it looks like, in 9th place overall. Up toward the front now, we are seeing Gamma now with that attack along with Scott. It looks like Straczynski, Cartwright, Allenby now very quickly right back on terms with these racers. The innovation boy now sitting in what looks to be 8th place out on course. Not sure he's going to see the front end of this race again. It's going to be about 6 seconds, and if they settle down at the front, he may be able to get back on terms. Going to be in quite an effort though, and definitely some matches he did not want to burn. A little bit of extra sugar, a little bit more of that glycogen being burned than he probably wants to at this point. At 193 beats per minute, this is a huge amount of that extra nitric oxide. There are only a few times that you can go deep and dig in like this at 193 beats per minute, and with 10 seconds still, he might have to call it a day and just hold on to that place with a threshold effort to the finish. But he's not going to give up. It looks like 5.2 watts per kilogram. We'll give him a little bit of encouragement as he makes his way, hopefully, back onto the back of this group. If they don't attack out of the underground, he may be able to do it and hang on for a better placing. If he does let them go, it's going to be curtains. As you can see, that group travels incredibly fast, even at 1.8 or 4. Well, 2.9 at the front, now 5 at the front here from Gamma, not wanting to see innovation maybe come back. And now 191, the heart rate starts to drop, the power going right along with it. Cartwright now hanging on. Now we do see an attack, it looks like, from Cartwright as it flattens out, knowing that the attacks in the downhill are not the place you want to do it, but with that extra speed from the group here, pushing up into 7-8 watts per kilogram. Webb now knowing as well that they want to carry some of that speed, trying to break things apart here. Allenby hanging on, it looks like, to the group, getting that draft at 34 miles per hour though, and it looks like Webb there at 35, getting a little bit of gap over the others now. It is 12 meters, and it is a race of meters at all times out on course here. If you let anything go outside of 5 meters, it's no longer a draft, and they will get dropped off pretty quickly and have to put out a huge effort to get back on terms and burn up some of those matches that we've been talking about so much today. Definitely a lot of action out here today during the places that are usually tactical, with so many hard hitters. It looks like they're trying everything they can to break this apart. Szczynski up into that 9 watts per kilogram, trying to hang up to the front. Looks like Allenby now 4.5 watts per kilogram, now kicking up into those orange numbers as Allenby tries to hang on to Cartwright and Szczynski as they come right on by. Jay Scott now sitting in as well, 188 beats per minute. All these riders up in the 170, 180, 190, Gama 161, maybe the only one that is fairly calm still at this point. The PTZ rider, Gama, 33 races coming out of Portugal. We do see him maxing out at 175, so definitely up in the threshold as well. Just not a very high max heart rate here. Levy still 184, is backed off from that super high heart rate up into that 189 or so. Still, just 10 beats under max that we've seen so far. Cartwright now 174, trying to break things apart here. 2 seconds off. Looks like Gama here in the world of pain, though, just barely able to hold on to Allenby's wheel. Again, we are live on Zwift's Facebook here. If you would like to tune in or join in to the conversation, go ahead and make a comment over at the Facebook, or tweet at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live, if you would like to interact with the broadcast. We can bring in any of your questions or comments if you would like to do so over at the any of those places. We do see Allison Duck saying, "Go Team Vision," cheering on Adam Webb and any of the other Team Vision riders out there. Allison Kubota, longtime viewer, as well as rider for Vision Cycling as well. So good to see her hanging out at the broadcast, cheering on her teammates. We are seeing also Resolute Bay saying, "I need to get back on Zwift." Good to hear. Hope to see you out there. Let us know when you're going to join in, and we'll make sure to get some coverage and shout outs for you when you're out on course. If you do tune in or ride in on one of these KISS EU or XRS races, or any of the other races that we are covering, as well as the Australian eCrit series. We are going to start adding more and more as we head into the Zwift season as well, so make sure to follow at any of the places linked at ZwiftCommunityLive.com, our Facebook, as well as our Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube for updates of whenever we do go live with some of those new coverages that are on their way. Cartwright here now, 161 beats per minute, 406 watts. He does have 15 meters. They let this go, and it might be all said and done, as this boy is a serious TT specialist. He can do, I believe, somewhere around a 18 and a half to 19 minute 10-mile TT, and so very, very high efforts, or very, very top elite efforts that can come out of Cartwright in the real world. So if you let this boy go on a TT on his own, you will not see him again. Gama, knowing that, we'll give him a ride on here for the effort, but it looks like Gama will close that down quickly here. Scott right along with him. Webb is still there as they head into their final lap out here in the KISS Europe race. Levy is there still with them. Allenby 1 second back. Szczynski. Innovation, though, has been dropped off on that downhill, was unable to grab back onto that wheel. Back in and amongst the C riders, it does look like Harris is ridden away from the rest of the pack. T. Harris here out of Great Britain, hammering away in the C category, not going to be seen again. It does look like Kay MacArthur now hammering away about 38 seconds back up from looks like G. Wall, who's sitting in second race with the B category in there, but in the C category race. So now this is going to be third place with Malone here in no man's land. TT efforts all around in that C category. One of the main chase groups, it looks like, with Anderson, Antcliffe, as well as a KRT rider. It looks like Lindenkugel here, about 6 seconds back from Antcliffe and Anderson, who are making up a solid chase to try and bring back Malone into the fold of that C category as they head out of the underground. Craig Kolb, I would love to, but the way that the race is set up today. So Craig, I love the comment. I really want to do some coverage of the B race right now, but as you can see when I click through, I actually have B racers around these avatars. So as I click through, but as you can see on the right hand side of the course, my two feeds right now are only in the C and the A category. So if I could, I can see around Malone. Let's go ahead and move back here just a little bit. I can see around these riders. Some of the B category riders, is they are not called from the course, so they are being caught by some of these C category riders, but I cannot actually click on them as I can't see them as riders nearby right now. Eventually we'll try and get 4 feeds up for you, but right now we can't, Craig. I wish I could. We'll do our best. Once we'll probably be able to see the sprint for them though, Craig, as well as all you others who are out there looking for some B and maybe D category coverage. Once the sprint finishes and we're outside of this outside of the event, I will be able to grab the B category maybe for the sprint. No worries, many thanks. No problem, Craig. And if I can get an eye on any of those names of the avatars as they go by, as sometimes I do see them, I will be able to call that out as they are not called from the course. So we do see BJ Alfonso here making the chase there up to his teammate there. It looks like Pereira there. Solid effort there from the 2 PTZ boys to try and bring back the C category W. They're only looks like 20 seconds back from Malone. They work well together. They may be able to see them again, but it looks like Malone, Cliff, and Anderson, as well as Lindenkugel. We're able to get away, and perhaps it is the climb out there that will make it difficult for the PTZ. Boys on their second time up and over the top of Box Hill. Back in with the A racers now, though. We did see an attack up into the square, it looked like, I believe. Or no, that was actually prior to the square. I saw him going in the 8 watts per kilogram, actually. But now as they do make this initial climb into the square, we are going to see Gama here, 5.7 watts per kilogram, right along with Levy, 6.5. Strzezinski is there as well. KRT now making their way to the front, though. Up and out of the saddle will be Jonathan Levy now. KRT just setting a solid pace, 186 beats per minute, not going quite anywhere. Allenby on the back, playing it smart, 163 beats per minute. I have a feeling Allenby is just waiting for the moment to pounce, holding on to that classic arrow power-up for that downhill. We did see one arrow power-up used for him already today, so he's already risked it a little bit to maybe get back on turns earlier when he was off the back here. So Allenby now 6.7 watts per kilogram. Does look like he's just sitting in whenever he can. Allenby, his recent racing, Palmares, it looks like 76 races out on Zwift. He did race, it looks like Kiss Europe race, and took a 5th back on August 1st. That is unlike him actually to lose. 2nd place in the Kiss Europe break back on July 27th. Took a win in the EVR, but he hasn't won a Kiss Europe since it looks like March 23rd actually. So jumping back into these Europe races, we'll see if he can take the W out there today with that classic downhill attack, or will he choose a different tactic here? We are seeing Cartwright now attacking again, 7.5 watts per kilogram to hold on to Jay Scott here. Cartwright going right on by 6.0, but not going anywhere just yet. Strzezinski off the back by 1 second, but now hanging onto the wheel, it looks like, of Scott. Levy back there again, 187, 186 beats per minute coming from him. So all together now, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 riders now. Is that right? Am I counting correctly? 7 riders on the front of this race now, with Jay Scott leading them out. 3.3 watts per kilogram, settling it down at the more tactical places out on course here. We're going to go ahead and open up some of the chats over at the live streaming platform, seeing if we have any questions coming on through. Good to see all of the newcomers to the stream here. We're seeing Switcher as well as Savage RJ. Speed. Good to see you guys hanging out here. We are also seeing B Nacho and Riley. Good to see you guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in over at the broadcast. I am also seeing Szymanski and Dwayne Grant saying Stacked Field should be a hard race. And Szymanski, thanks a lot for the sub over at Zwift Community Live over on Twitch. Rob Lindenkugel for the win. Cincy KRT contingent. Comes like it's coming out of Cincinnati. By the way, Tim Cartwright is an 1809 on a slow course. Rogers from the TFC team is letting us know 1809 on a slow TT. Woo, absolutely fine. Tim Cartwright with some real life efforts, boys and girls. If you ever have a question whether or not this guy can throw down, he absolutely can. Winner of the CVR World Cup over in London, real life racing, as well as real life racing out on the road. The boy can ride a bike here. 170 beats per minute. We'll see if he can hold off for the win today. Won many races out there, Tim Cartwright, for sure. Out on Zwift. We'll go ahead and see what his recent destruction of the fields have been. 204 races out on Zwift for Mr. Tim Cartwright. 375 watt FTP estimation. He took a second place in the KISS Sunday Europe race, actually, back on the 20th of, it looks like, of this month. Also in the XRX IBEX race, actually, climbing race. Solid effort from him there. Took the W there. Second place. All we're seeing is podiums all day long. Last time he didn't take a podium was back on July 12th. And that, you have to look back like over 15 races ago. And so ever since then, it's nothing but lots of golds, a couple of silvers, and one third place in the XRS Tuesdays back on August 1st, it looks like. And that was to Scotty Weiss and Kim Little. Actually, Scotty Weiss and Kim Little. So a couple of very high-end racers. Scotty Weiss, world champion, actually out defending his Masters World Championship this week. Mr. Scotty Weiss for Team Experimental in the world of Zwift. So definitely nothing to wink at for that field back on August 1st. That was quite the battle, it looks like. That's the only time it looks like that Tim is going to be losing too often. Maybe today, though, things might change. Are we going to see a changing of the guard at all with this Jay Scott, or with Jonathan Levy being his first time in and amongst the racers out here today? Gama now from the PTZ, 6.5 watts per kilogram. Now they're going to start. It's the Box Hill, the final time up and over the top, 6.8 watts per kilogram, coming from Cartwright, trying to prove that he's got it for the win out there today. Now Levy there following it up, 179. We've seen him within 15 beats of his max heart rate for like the entirety of the race. Man, that boy must be suffering. Jonathan Kenny, hold on, representing out of the USA in Seattle here. Gama there for Portugal now, holding down at 162. Scott there out of the UK, with Szerzynski out of Poland, riding for Team Poland here. Innovation 131 back, just holding off in no man's land now, with Allenby at the back out of the UK in that Sigma Sport kit. Will he be able to hold it off? We'll give them all a ride on for all their efforts. Massive effort all around. Adam Webb for Vision Cycling, never count him out, especially in the sprint, but can he hold on up and over the top of Box Hill with the climbers out here today? Szerzynski now making his way to the front right along with Cartwright at 5.3 watts per kilogram. Now gets into the business of climbing as they get into that initial kick, and then it's to what can you hold for a VO2 max effort all the way up over the top. What can you hold for about 5 minutes and 50 seconds or so, I have a feeling is what they're going to be looking for. Maybe around 6 or so. Wallace did a 6:10. They held back that first time, I think, up and over the top here. We're going to see probably a 6 flat. Actually, though, Cartwright here, it seems like they're riding a little bit afraid today, knowing the level that is amongst the riders here, with 7 super strong riders. But now we're seeing a moment of weakness here from Allenby, actually. 2 seconds back, 4.8 watts per kilogram. Webb now kicking a little bit of a feather power up. Looks like the suffering is real here today, boys and girls. Maybe all the attacks early on during the race have really burnt up some of those stores, that extra energy today, and Cartwright's just gonna be able to set it at a steady pace at the front. But no, now Scott comes around, 4.7 watts per kilogram and 192 beats per minute. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely insane, the efforts that these riders are putting in and putting out, actually, of their bodies right now. Jay Scott, 5.46 watts per kilogram coming from Szerzynski, 175 beats per minute. Cartwright, 175. Webb, 166. Allenby, 170. Getting back on terms. Gama dropped off. Another one bites the dust off the back. Portugal no longer involved with PTZ there. So it's down to 6. Allenby, Webb, Szerzynski, Cartwright, Levy, and Jay Scott the front, just setting a steady 5.6 on that elite trainer, looks like. Feeling that climb. Is he on? The question I have, is he on the smart trainer and feeling this gradient right now? As you can feel the gradients, actually, of these climbs with the smart trainer in the world of Zwift. Levy now 4.7 watts per kilogram, 186 beats per minute. Let's go ahead and take a look at ZwiftPower.com for the live output so far. 5.0 from Jay Levy so far. We're seeing 3.8 from Allenby. Allenby with the least amount of effort so far. We said that he was playing it smart, and maybe that's why he was allowing those boys to get away just a little bit, because he has been trying to put out the least amount of effort so he can make that classic attack up and over the top. 163 beats per minute, halfway up and over the top of Box Hill. Watch out for the Allenby attack because he's only put out 3.8 watts per kilogram compared to what Gamma put out, and he's off the back at 4.9. It's definitely a tactical race, boys and girls, with the ability to hang in with the drafts out there. And if you got teammates, or if you're able to play it smart with the group, you can really save a lot of energy. Actually, Webb now 4.3 watts per kilogram for the duration of 20 minutes total. We are seeing Szerzynski 4.5, 4.7 from Cartwright, really putting it all on the line. Levy there with a 5.0 for a 20-minute out there has put out massive amounts of energy out there, and we're seeing it with him being within that 15 beats of his max heart rate. Allenby, though, we haven't seen him too high of a heart rate out there today. 167, this may be the highest we've seen so far. Looking at his past results here, I'm going to go ahead and open up and see what his max heart rate actually is. He gets all the way up into the 182s, it looks like. So he's within about 15, 16, 17 beats, but he's never gone too far over threshold and kept it very steady. But now that he sees Cartwright attacking at 6.1 watts per kilogram, it's definitely going to be a moment of truth here, I think, for Allenby, whether or not he can win against Cartwright, who might be able to ride away. And if Cartwright gets away, that might be the only man out here that Allenby cannot close it down to. And Levy's not going to be helping him out at all. Levy sitting in, allowing his teammate to get away. KRT playing their cards now at this point and saving Levy for a counter if need be. Cartwright getting away, though, at 6.0, 182 beats per minute. What's your predictions out there today, boys and girls? Will it be Cartwright and the KRT combo of Levy here able to throw down for the KISS Racing team? Will Allenby be the usual juggernaut and come open over the top of Box Hill and make that attack and take the W? Will Vision Cycling? No, actually, Webb has dropped off now, along with Gamma, unable to hang on. So now it's just down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 riders, actually, as Allenby still hangs on the back here, 165 beats per minute. But Cartwright, knowing the classic Allenby attack, trying to get as much distance between himself and Mr. David Allenby out on course today. Now it is going to be 5 seconds between Scott and Cartwright now. Scott, though, getting away from Szerzynski here. It's turning into an every man for himself because of the gradient in this uphill on Box Hill. Levy now 5.0 watts per kilogram, 6.0 watts per kilogram. To make that follow-up to make sure that even if Cartwright is caught, he gets dragged right along with the other riders. Playing the cat and mouse games here, the team tactics now that we're seeing from the riders. But Allenby 2 seconds off the back here, 4.8 watts per kilogram. Going to try, and I think he's going to drag them right back in and just barely get back on terms with these riders. But I think he's saving up here and not expending too much energy for a massive attack on the other side. But with Cartwright 11 seconds off the front here, we said it, the TT specialist, he gains this kind of time. We're going to see one more kick up under the top of Box Hill for the steepest part, but what kind of time did they put in? Only a 6:11. I was incorrect, guys. All of those attacks, it looks like earlier on in the race, definitely put the hurt into the legs, and the Box Hill climb was about 10 seconds off the fast ones that we usually see. But Cartwright here with 8 seconds. Allenby, though, keeping it within his sights. It's 170, though. We've seen that heart rate come quite a ways up from what low 163 that we've seen from him recently throughout most of the race. Now up in the 7.6, 8 watts per kilogram. He's gonna have to attack in the orange numbers all the way up over the top and make sure that none of this gap that he has formed for himself gets taken away, and then maybe bust an arrow power up on the other side of this climb, though, because that is most definitely the strongest place to do it. And you can be sure that if Allenby has one, he's going to be using it. What's going on, though? We're seeing 0.2 watts per kilogram here from Allenby. Something's going on with his power there for a second there, and now it's out to 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds here. Cartwright is getting away, and it might be currents for the day, boys and girls. But Cartwright, where's the arrow power up? Does he have one? Allenby 14, 15 seconds, but here comes the Allenby usual attack on the other side. We had predicted it. He's 7 meters out from Szerzynski. It's the usual Allenby and Cartwright off the front now, but Szerzynski, will he be able to pull something special off here and be able to hang on with Allenby? I've never seen him be able to hang on with these boys before, and Szerzynski now jumps right onto Allenby's wheel, but Cartwright with 23 seconds is absolutely gone. I don't think he's going to be seen again. Absolutely killing it here now, and it's all about the pixel polkos. What is Tom O'Kalinson there? And I'm not exactly sure. We are seeing, does the choice of bike make a difference in races or on Zwift in general? Owen is saying, Owen Jones, what a great question. As we head into the final here, we'll definitely take a couple of questions from the Zwift Facebook as they are coming in. So Owen, yes, they do. there has actually been a bunch of tests done by zwiftblog.com, and if you head on over to zwiftblog.com, you look for the different bike speeds, you can actually figure out what their TTs, what they do on certain courses and how fast they are on certain courses. The fastest bike out on Zwift currently, outside of a bike that was available only in beta, is going to be the Tron bike, actually. And that wasn't always the case. It wasn't always the fastest bike. There was an update, though, to Zwift, I think in the last 6 months it was or so, that the Tron bike was actually made the fastest bike because it is the hardest to get. You have to climb 50,000 meters to get it, so they rewarded it by making it the fastest bike out on Zwift. Now, we're not talking about huge differences, but it is a race of meters, as we usually say, so they are minute differences, but everybody does use either the Tron bike or the Cervelo S5, and if you do have the full dish zip wheels, though, that is the fastest bike actually from the beta, unless there's been any other updates. But as of the most recent update to the bikes, that is the fastest that I know of. That is those are the two fastest bikes out on Zwift, and you can check out all the times for the bikes over at Zwift blog. Do miss Zwift, but still a bit warm in the UK. Mike Waters saying, glad to hear that you're getting some good riding outside, and we hope to see you out on Zwift. Mike Waters, first time watching, very impressed. Great commentary. Thanks a lot, Jay. Really appreciate your comments. Picking up Pelosi, letting the team down. Lee Woodcock is saying, and Lee Proudy's letting everybody know that the Tron bike is the fastest. Thanks a lot, Lee Proudy. Thanks a lot for tuning in as well. All right, looking now, we are seeing Cartwright off the front. He's got only 13 seconds. It went up to 23, but it looks like he may be able to hang on. Allenby has been caught by Szerzynski still, though. This is not the usual situation that we see. We usually see Allenby off the front, actually, and nobody along with him, but now he's got a little bit to contend with Szerzynski here. Peter Szerzynski out of Poland having a great race today. Allenby now 2.5 watts per kilogram hanging in, and now it will be Cartwright, though, off the front, not going to be seen again. One of the fastest men we've ever seen on Zwift will be taking another W, it looks like, today, barring any kind of mechanicals or dropouts or anything out there today, which do happen. We do get flat tires here and there out on Zwift. We don't want to jinx him or anything, though, so it looks like he's going to be just fine to the line. Szerzynski here now with looks like an attack up in the 9 watts per kilogram, able to get a little bit of gap on. It looks like Allenby out to 10 meters, though. He's going to have to hold on to a solid effort to hold off the likes of Allenby, who's bumping up into 4.7 watts per kilogram. Jumps right back on to the wheel. Levy, though, not to be counted out. Only 8 seconds back now, 7 seconds. Now look at this, 3.6 watts per kilogram at the front from Allenby. Allenby has to think about the games that are being played at this point. They've played too many games between each other and who's going to draft, who's not, setting up for the sprint. Levy and Scott are suddenly going to be there, and it's going to be a 4-up sprint rather than a 2-up sprint, and they might be sacrificing third place out there today. Allenby now throwing down that aero power up as Szerzynski now 6.2 watts per kilogram. Lee Proudy now cheering on Cartwright, it looks like there. One of his favorite picks out there with a couple of claps coming through over at the Zwift Facebook here. Now we are seeing Levy now off the back. Now Allenby kicking it one more time, 3.7 watts per kilogram. And David Crisp is saying, you're all wrong. The Buffalo bike is the fastest. Was there an update? Am I wrong? Is the Buffalo bike actually a new fastest? And I think that's just a joke there with a laugh out loud. And Buffalo bike is probably one of the coolest looking bikes out on course for sure, especially knowing what it's all about and what it's for. Cartwright now kicking it into the finish line with an aero power up. One last little kick, 186 beats per minute. What an effort from the man out here for the KRT racing team, with the crowds cheering him on as he makes his way to the line. All the real life crowds as well as the digital ones that were recently added out on Zwift. One last little kick to the line into 6.6 watts per kilogram, 462 watts, 500 watts now, 7 watts per kilogram, 14 seconds over Allenby. Allenby with his own attack now, going to be taking second place. And the 1-2, this is a commonly seen situation with a Cartwright, Allenby, 1-2 or the other way around. So congratulations to both the riders coming out of the UK. Szerzynski now pulling in for third place, though. Solid ride there for Team Poland there. Nice job there to Peter. Now we do see Levy here, one of the newer racers for his first time out in the KISS Europe race, letting us know that he's got the power to throw down for a fourth place out there. 13 watts per kilogram. Solid effort to take it down from Jay Scott out of the UK for fifth place out there today. Now it is going going to be Webb right along with Gamma, making their way to the line for 6th and 7th place out there today. 4.7 watts per kilogram from Gamma as he leads out Webb. Webb now just waiting for the moment to pounce. Busts the drafting power up out as he's about to make his sprint as Gamma starts to open up in the 6 watts per kilogram, but Webb's got a whole lot of watts to give, I have a feeling. But Gamma maybe going to get the jump on him, 7.0 watts per kilogram. Will Webb have anything left to give? There's a sprint there coming from some other rider there. I don't even know who that is in the B category, I think. That is, I'm not sure. That might have been Arcolin, actually, with the sprint. But he's in the I'm not even sure where he came from. And he's not a part of the category there. So interesting to see. Now it will be Johan Gren, Team PTZ out there as well, just getting his ride going. Good to see Johan out on course. One of the newer racers out on Zwift. Definitely watching out for him from Team Sweden. All right, let's get back in with the C categories. They're making their way up and over the top of Box Hill for their final time. It will be BJ Alfonso. Where did BJ go, actually? It looks like maybe off the back. His teammate, though, Pereira here, holding down a solid placing in the top 6 to 7 now. Anderson 2 seconds up. It will be Lindenkugel now from the KRT racing team. Representing out of Cincinnati, I was told, USA, holding it down just behind P. Malone out of Ireland. Now Anclave right along with E. Smets now, it looks like, making up a chase to G. Wall in that C category. Harris still up the front. I think Harris may be getting an upgrade there in this category as he's throwing down a crazy effort out there today. Let's go ahead and double check and see. T. Harris there, 3.8 watts per kilogram. A little bit over the top there at 3.8, almost into the A category, actually. So upper and B category rider be getting an upgrade. So at 351, I think he'll get an upgrade and maybe relegated from, or at least put into the next category limits. 3.7 there from MacArthur, so we'll leave him alone as well. 106 off the front. G. Wall also over category limits. A lot of over category limits today. So a couple of upgrades coming in for all of the riders. In the B category, though, we'll go ahead and let everybody know what's happening there. It will be Bring It All for the Vikings team, right along with Diavola and then Anderson. For the sprints to the line in the B category. Let's see if we can find them out there today as they make their way to the line. We wait for the C category riders to make their finish up their Box Hill climbs here. Ancliffe right along with Pereira and Malone. Pereira and Malone maybe the first ones to the line, perhaps, I think, in the C category. Pelosi here in the A category, we're not going to click on him because we're actually trying to find these B category riders, but nice job to the Italian rider there. MD now from the BRT team here, leading out. Anderson from the Vikings team. He is in that Amgen Tour of California case we called out earlier from that Vikings team. The reason that we didn't see his name in the earlier was because he was a part of that B category and we couldn't see his name in the riders nearby. But because we are outside of the A category at this point, we are able to see them. We are going to get them into the feed here. So Anderson right along with FD Evola now out of Belgium, making their way to the line. This is the sprint for the first place in the B category. Now 5.2 watts per kilogram. No heart rate there from Evola. Not sure he's going to be able to get the win though in the category without that heart rate. But Anderson now 14.9 watts per kilogram. Might not matter as the Viking showed that he's got the crazy Viking power to throw down into 14 watts per kilogram. But Anderson with the last second kick there, and it looks like he will be taking the W for the Vikings team right ahead of the Belgian rider. Nice job to both riders, though, as they make their way to the line. Bentley right along with Williams with the last second sprint. Will Williams be able to nip it at the line? And it will be Bentley Williams just over Bentley to the line. Nice sprint between both of the riders. The Vision Cycling kit there and rider just behind Williams in the A category. I think a top 20 overall. Another Vikings rider coming to the line here in third place in the B category. Nice job to Bring It All, holding it down. Now back with the C category, Malone making their other way down the other side of the course. Let's move on forward, though. We do have we are able to now see all the riders, actually, as we are no longer a part of the A's. It will call the riders, though, if I do click on T. Sullivan here, so we're not going to do that, or at least try to avoid doing that. Moving forward, we are seeing BX Race WBR here, hammering away. Nice little sprint, though, opening up between Lambert here, McCloskey, And it looks like Loeffler now just across the line in that level 25 hit. All right, now as we wait for the rest of the riders to make their way to the line, let's go ahead and see what's happening with these C category riders and if any questions are coming on through. Are the upgrades mandatory? If you don't upgrade enough times, Henry Hardy is asking, are the upgrades mandatory? If you do not upgrade enough times, Zwift Power will tag you and you will be relegated from, at least in the past, that's how it worked. I am not the race organizer as well as I am not, and I am not the runner of ZwiftPower.com, but in the past, if you did not upgrade enough times, your results did get tagged by ZwiftPower.com, and it just starts relegating you automatically over and over again. So there will be a little upgrade suggestion that does come on through. They should be mandatory, in my opinion, because the whole idea of the race categories is to have riders around each other that are of the same ability level, and so if you are jumping into races that are not around the same ability level, it kind of ruins it for the rest of the racers. So it's highly suggested you jump into the correct categories. If you're unsure of the categories that you should be in, we actually do have a couple of graphics here for you that you can check out for the what you should be in for these. Let's go ahead and see if I can bring this through. Categories graphic. Let's see if this is the right one. And here it is. Yep. There's a little mistake in this graphic. We need to actually update that. Carol, if you're watching, try and get that going here. But we do have in the A category here, 4.0 watts per kilogram or higher. For the B category, 3.2 to 4.0. The C category, 2.5 to 3.2. The D category is actually 2.5 or under. And then in everyone ride is 1.5 to 2.5 according to this one. So, they should be mandatory. We do have another cool little tweet coming at us. Scotty Weiss saying, watching that Zwift community live as I make final prep for tomorrow's time trial. Thanks for the race coverage. No problem. World's Masters Cycling Federation looking to defend for the US of A, it looks like. And nice kit there. And from Scotty Weiss, congrats on last year and good luck in tomorrow's TT in grabbing hopefully a repeat on the TT World Championships and hopefully the road race as well. KRT win pay up here coming from Tom of Kalen as he made the right bet there. It looks like solid job on making a nice prediction. Not too hard though when you got Tim Cartwright out on course. So now bringing it in, it looks like to the finish line we do have the C category now with Anderson, Malone now out of Ireland. It looks like with Anderson and Pereira now. So Malone 5 seconds up on, will he be able to hang on at 182 beats per minute? Solid effort here coming from Malone. And 6 seconds back, it will be Anderson out of Denmark now with Pereira now 4.0 watts per kilogram. Not sure he's going to be able to hold him off now. 4.2 coming from the PTZ rider, 159 beats per minute. We'll give him a ride on of encouragement now right along with Malone. We'll make sure to give him one too, not to show any favoritism or anything. And he does have a couple of riders to work with here, but it is a solid 41 meters over Pereira. But Pereira looks at 5.6 watts per kilogram, trying to pull things back together here. And now coming out of Denmark though, Anderson maybe getting the free ride all the way to the finish line as Pereira now is pulling it back together now. 3 seconds is the difference between Malone and the others now. Malone doing everything he can, 188 beats per minute after this entire time off the front. Can he hold them off now? It's within the last K to go. Will it be Pereira? And Anderson able to pull this back in, and Anderson now just sitting in, waiting for the sprint. I think it's going to be Anderson. That's my prediction as we see him sitting in, waiting for that final kick, but it is 3 seconds from Malone. Will he hold him off? Pereira now still leaving things out, not wanting to put too many chips on the table just yet, knowing that Anderson's just sitting out, but if he doesn't close it down now, it's all over. What a difficult situation for Pereira to be in for the PTZ team now. Now getting into 6.2 watts per kilogram. He sees that Malone is struggling, not going to be able to hang on. Malone may be able to grab onto the wheel for a sprint at the end, but he's put all of his, it's already all over, I think, from Malone. Pereira now going. Anderson off now as Pereira goes. Anderson unable to hold on for that sprint finish. Malone now 7 meters off the back, does not have a draft as they make their way to the line. Here it will be Pereira, I believe, from PTZ. No, Pereira maybe too much, too early as Malone now 5.6, 5.0 watts per kilogram. One last kick to the line, and it will be Malone actually who had 8 watts per kilogram and nips it just barely after all that work. work does actually pay off. Pereira unable to do so. And coming in for third place, it will be Anderson. That will be your finishes for the C category. What an effort from all the riders out there today. So real quick here for the finishing orders in the A, the results here for the A and the B and the C category as they have made their way to the line. Let's go ahead and bring in our desktop capture. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys ZwiftPower.com real quickly here, as that is where we get all of the results for the broadcasts here. So you'll see all the different I got a ton of tabs open actually over at my desktop here. But we are seeing Tim Cartwright takes the win in the time of 42:10. Solid effort there. Allenby 8 seconds back for second place in the A category, with Peter Sadinsky representing Team Poland there in third place. Jonathan Levy, nice job in his first time racing in the A category for the KISS Europe race for the KISS Racing team as well. Solid effort there for fourth place, followed by Jed Scott in fifth place. Ramon Colon, nice job out there, but it's going to be an upgrade to the A category. Nice job out there. Bard Anderson now in the B category, though, with a win and gets an upgrade, followed by Fabian D out of Belgium. Solid effort all around, but upgrade all around in that B category. First one within category limits will be bringing it off for the Vikings team in that B category. Then we do have Gavin McCloskey right behind Paul Mason for VRC Racing and Carl Loeffler. Nice job all around. Baxter Phillips for the Race WBR. Shout out from the Colonel. Nice job to him, and it looks like coming out of Germany. Moving our way down the C category, Tom Harris. Whew, out of control, 3.7 watts per kilowatt. Upgrade. What are you doing in the C category, Tom? Graham MacArthur, I mean, just ruining himself to win the C category there, taking names. What's going on? Decorating the C's, Tom. What's going on here? Graham MacArthur now also in the C category with an upgrade. Upgrades all around, it looks like. So first one within, it will be all the way to Sam Pratt. And nice job to him, as well as Ian Baltimore right on the edge there. BJ Alfonso then as well, 2.9 watts per kilogram. We'll just call it as we see it here with Blake Ancliffe, Graham Wall, and Paul Malone. Nice job all around. And then Paul Malone, we did see him in that sprint up against Marcelo Pereira and Morton Anderson. Kind of a little bit of a mess, though, here with all these upgrades here. So make sure you guys check out the category limits and jump into the correct places. So that's going to be it then today for our coverage. The Zwift Community Live coverage of the KISS Europe race. Again, at the beginning of the broadcast, we did some of the latest news out on Zwift. Zwift Academy is launching within the next, I believe it will be on September 1st. So that's just, what is that, 9 days away or so from now? So make sure to check out academy.zwift.com for both the men's and the women's program that are launching in conjunction with Team Dimension Data and Team Canyon SRAM. Awesome initiatives for the community that you can take part in the group rides. And I believe there's going to be some races as well in that 6-week program, a shorter program this year. So make sure to check out all the details, though, as that's coming up. Tomorrow we will have the Coach Hendy ride where Greg Henderson makes me suffer. So you want to watch me suffer and see what a great program that Coach Greg Henderson has put together. You can check out CoachHendy.com for all the workouts that he does have, as well as we will be loading up to our Facebook what the workout is for tomorrow, and you can download that workout and upload it into Zwift to join in for the workout live with us actually tomorrow at 2 p.m. CST Central Standard Time or 8 p.m. BST British Standard Time. Also tomorrow morning,